So if you have a vehicle and you think the purge valve might have failed and it might be stuck open, I thought I'd go over some of the symptoms of this and how you go about telling if it is stuck open or if it is failing. A purge valve can also be stuck closed. I made a video on that. I'll put a link down below if you need to check that out. But first of all, what is the purge valve? Well, the purge valve is part of the evap system, which basically takes all the gas vapors from the gas tank and feeds them back up to the engine to get burnt off so they don't escape into the atmosphere. This is for emissions. And the basics of how the evap system works is that the gas vapors are going to leave the gas tank. They're going to go up to what's called a vapor charcoal canister. And this basically stores the gas vapors when the engine's not running and things like this. And then the gas vapors are going to leave the charcoal canister and they're going to go up to the top of the engine. And at the top of the engine is going to be called the purge valve solenoid. And the purge valve basically opens when the engine's running so the gas vapors can go in and get burnt off, and then it closes when the engine's not running so they don't escape. And so when this purge valve gets stuck open, it can cause some different symptoms. First of all, the check engine light is going to come on, and if you scan the onboard computer for any error codes, you're going to get some kind of evap error code. It can also cause a vacuum leak since the hose going into the engine is tied directly into the intake manifold. And so if this valve is stuck open all the time, then it can cause a vacuum leak. It's really going to vary on the manufacturer on how the engine performs, but in some cases it could cause a vacuum leak, and when that happens, it could cause like a rough idle or the engine to run roughly. And so that would be the third thing to look for, it'd be like a rough idle. It can also in some cases cause the vehicle to get reduced fuel economy since it's not running correctly. Again, it's going to vary depending on the engine type and things like this, but in some cases there can be reduced fuel economy. Another common symptom is that there's difficulty starting the engine after it gets gas, and the reason this happens is that all the gas vapors, they're inside the gas tank, and when you fuel up the gas, it's going to push all the vapors up into the vapor canister and up towards the purge valve solenoid. And if this purge valve is not closed, then all those gas vapors are going to go into the engine and basically be like flooding it out, because you're just going to have excess gas inside of the engine, and it's going to be extra hard to start if that does happen. And so if you do go to get gas and you fuel up and you get back in and the engine's taking longer to start than usual, then that's a common symptom that that purge valve is stuck open. And then of course the vehicle is going to fail an emissions test. Since the evap system is a part of emissions, when you take it in and get checked, very likely you're going to fail an emissions test. And so how do you test to see if the purge valve is stuck open? Well, basically if it's stuck open, you'll be able to blow through it. So if you take it out and you blow on one side, on one port, the air is going to come out the other side. This valve should be closed. You can also test it while it's still inside the vehicle. If you remove the hose going back to the charcoal canister, but you leave the hose connected to the intake manifold, and then you start the car up, for the first 2 or 3 minutes, there shouldn't be no vacuum on this port. At some point, it will open and there should be a vacuum, but during the first 2, 3, 5 minutes when the vehicle first starts, the engine is going to be cold and there should be no vacuum on this port. So you can feel it with your finger and see if it is stuck open. So you can use your finger and see if there's a slight vacuum right there, and if there is, then that's a sign that it's stuck open. I made a video on this on how you can test it that way. I'll put a link down below if you want to check that out. They are fairly simple to test, but if you do think it's stuck open, that'd be the next thing to do, is do some simple tests just to see if it is stuck open, and if it is, then replace it. And so that's basically it. I just want to go over some of the possible symptoms when a purge valve is stuck open and what you can expect if it is. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.